reviewed a lot of games on this channel. It's been a long time VR YouTuber, and I gotta say, Compound VR might be one of my favorite roguelike retro games I've ever played in VR. This game just oozes personality and just has a lot going for it. If you ever play old games like Wolfenstein, then you would definitely love this game. Compound is a first-person pixel art retro first-person shooter. It definitely takes inspiration from those games like I mentioned before, Wolfenstein, Doom, and is really retro classic first-person games. Now I know a few reviews ago I said I was tired of VR roguelikes. Well, I lied. I pretty much lied. This is a procedurally generated roguelike, and man, it is so unique, even though it's randomly generated. The main game loop of Compound is pretty much picking up weapons and going through each level, and there's a lot of levels, and clearing out enemies. There are 3 difficulties, which is easy as pie, medium rare, and hard booze. And I'm not gonna lie guys, this game, to me it wasn't easy. But to some other reviewers and stuff, it was pretty easy. But to me, I actually had a lot of trouble with this game. You need precision, and you gotta be able to reload on the fly. And the reload can be a little janky because it's a manual reload, and your hand has to be in a certain position to get it off. But if you get used to it, you grab a clip out of thin air, you put it towards the gun, put the clip in the gun, and then you press a button on your right controller, whatever controller you hope you shoot with, and then boom, you reload it. But the thing is, it's so precise where you have to put the clip. It doesn't just like go in like other games. But it's not really an issue because there are mutations in the game also where you can actually add these different modifiers to your game. So my favorite one for me, I think there's like 10 mutations, but my favorite one was the extra arms mutation, which auto reloads your weapons, but they reload a lot slower. That made this game totally different because I just had 2 dual wielded guns and I just went crazy going through the map. There's also an old schooler mutation that makes it similar to like Doom, so you move really fast, but there's like hella enemies, so you gotta be really precise with your shots and get your aim down. There's also people population, which means enemies have less HP, but you have faster bullets, but there's more enemies. And there's also a compound bow mutation, which is really fun. I haven't unlocked that one yet, but I did see it in other people's reviews. The main enemy of this game is really evil capitalism. You're going up against an evil big brother corporation, and you have to defeat the guys at the top. There's multiple endings for each difficulty level in the game, and I'm not gonna lie, getting that first run done was so satisfying because the game actually rewards you if you die. Like if you die, you actually unlock new weapons on each run. And there's a lot of guns in this game, and there's a lot of variants of each gun in the game. So you have an assault rifle that has like an SMG variant, a pistol that has a kind of shotgun burst pistol, a variant, and then you have a bunch of other different guns like rocket launchers, bows. There's different weapons. The weapons feel really good. Like they honestly feel so great. And it's really old school kind of bullet hellish how the enemies shoot at you when you shoot at them. So you gotta be really good with your shots. But if you're a person who grew up on games like this, then it's so easy. But going back to the guns, I would have opted for like a body holster system for storing weapons. The game does give you at least 3 weapons just base carrying. But personally, I would have rather been able to like reach over my shoulder and grab a shotgun or grab a pistol or something like that. It just felt like it would have flowed a lot more better with the gameplay. But I do understand keeping that classic kind of retro style of just pressing a button to switch a weapon. In terms of enemies, Compound VR does offer a lot in terms of variety. You got enemies with shotguns, enemies with assault rifles, pistols, kind of mutated enemies as you go up in levels. You got corporate enemies like robots and stuff like that. But personally, I wish they would have kind of added more enemy variants or even at least more levels to the game, because it honestly does feel really short when you get the game down and you're running through levels. So I really would have opted for more mini bosses and stuff like that, especially in the early game. I feel like the early game is really easy, then the difficulty just ramps up all of a sudden. Now in higher difficulties, they do spawn more mini bosses and on each level actually for the middle and then the last difficulty. But I would have really enjoyed if they added just like more variants to the enemy types, mini bosses, and just things that were going on in the levels. Speaking of the levels, I really treasure this game's environmental design. This game has one of the coolest art styles I've ever seen in one of these kind of retro VR games. They really went all out on the colors, and the OLED and HDR, the PSVR2, makes it so enjoyable to look at. My biggest critique of this game is I kind of wish there was just more content. Even though it's a $20 game, I feel like the amount of content you get for the game can be a little lacking because it does want you to run through the game again and again. It's like any other roguelike. But I do wish there was DLC and just more things planned for the game. Hopefully we get that in the future. Like, I'm definitely looking forward to it because honestly, I feel like it's a good thing. A game should leave you wanting more, and Compound VR definitely does that. If you're on a PSVR2 and you haven't gotten this game, make sure you go get it because the dev put a lot of work into it. And I've seen this game grow on PC VR over the years with updates and new stuff being added to it. So hopefully we can get a Compound 2 or even just an update or something in the future from this game. So to wrap things up, if you're looking for a retro FPS or just a really fun roguelike, Compound VR got you. Like I said before, the game could use a little bit more adjusting in certain places, but overall, just an amazing product and an amazing game to play. If you enjoyed this review, make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you go to VR.com and get some prescription lenses for your PSVR2. And make sure you go to Global Cluster and get you a PSVR2 comfort mod because they are selling like hotcakes. And you need one for that utmost comfort on a PSVR2. With that being said, it's been your boy MartydudeVR. And remember, I'm just doing a VR headset. Peace.